I'm good. How you doing?
I'm great, thank you. So Kevin just told us that you've been working with Clint. So I just wanted to ask you, how has camp been for you, and what is it like working with Clint in that capacity now that he's able to play?
Yeah, it's been fun. He's kind of like a big bro. And for me to be able to just drink out of his experience and learn from him. Even when he first got here, obviously he wasn't able to play and practice and stuff like that, but he was still able to kind of like give me some guidance on the court. And for me, I just try to, like I said, try to drink as much as I can out of his experience as a player. And he's somebody who I watched a lot when I was in college and high school, and a lot of times I was mentioned of like somebody who I can end up being like and stuff like that. But I really just try to use it to my advantage, him as much as I can.
All right, next question from Andrew Friedman from Georgia State University.
Hey Bruno, how are you?
I'm good. How you doing, Andrew?
I'm doing well. Thank you for taking the time today. It's obvious that you're very vocal about voting and other social issues going on right now. Are there any specific things that you're telling, whether it's your teammates or just your peers in the NBA in general, in order to convince them to just spread the message?
Yeah, I think for us, really the biggest thing is just try to use our platforms and our voices as much as we can. We have a lot of followers around, not just on social media, but outside the basketball world as well. So for us to just be able to use our voice and spread the message around, I think the message is being heard and is being passed on to the next and next person. So we just try to use it as much as we can.
Thank you.
All right, next question from Chris Kirshner.
Hey, Bruno. Um, what specific areas do you feel like you need to get better on from your rookie season?
Uh, for me, I'm a basketball player first, and obviously it's always room for improvement in every aspect of my game. So for me, I just, whenever I have the time, I try to work on every aspect of my game. But at the same time, I just try to emphasize on the things that I know the best help me fit on with this team and the group of guys that we got. So obviously, like I said, I work on every aspect of my game, but at the same time, when we in a team situation, I understand the things that I have to do to get us in a position to win games and be successful. So I got to fit in and find the things that work best for me, the benefits Trey and John and Kevin, DeAndre, Cam, Clint, and all those guys.
Right. Our next question from Bailey Johnson of the AJC.
Hey, Bruno. Thanks for taking the time to do this. I'm just wondering what some of your biggest things you learned in your rookie season are and what experiences you're looking to take into your second year.
Yeah, rookie season was a learning experience for me. It was a lot of ups and downs, goods and bads. But for me, I think it was expected. I think I just expected those things. It's kind of like you go to college for your freshman year. You're not really used to college basketball. You just find a lot of bumps on the roads. And how I look back at it is my freshman year in college and my sophomore year in college was very different, two different things. And for me, I asked myself, why not? Why can I make the same jump? I work on my game a lot. I put in a lot of hours into my craft. So for me, like I said, it was just a learning experience. A lot of things about the speed of the game, the amount of competitiveness out there, skills and all that type of things that plays a factor into it. So for me, I just try to learn from all these things and move on to the next one, try to work and try to be better my second year.
We will go back to Jamila.
Hey, Bruno. So, with everything happening with the pandemic, I know it's been really difficult for a lot of international players. And I wanted to ask you about if you've been able to see your family, if how difficult has it been with everything with travel and all that? Have you been able to actually see them and talk to
I have not. I appreciate you asking that, but I have not been able to see my family. Just constantly talk to them on the phone. Just the same communication I always had. And like you mentioned, it's hard. It's a tough time, tough situations we in. There's a lot of uncertainty, and I don't really know as much about when is a good time to travel and when is not, and the borders opening and closing at home and stuff like that. So it's just not everybody's on the same page right now in terms of like traveling. It might be open here but close out there, or open out there and close out here. So I really just try to communicate with them as much, and they know and they understand the situation. But whenever we get a time to, obviously, if things get better, get a time for me to go home and see them, or them coming here, that would work out perfectly. But till then, I just gotta do what I got.
You can see him soon.
All right, we'll go back to Andrew.
Hey, Bruno, you had the honor, the pleasure of spending the last season of Vince's career with him. From the court to just advice he gave you on the bench and the locker room, what are some things that you'll miss most about him?
Say it again. Who'd you say?
So you were with Vince for his final season. I was just wondering what things you'll miss about him, whether it was advice he gave you in the locker room or on the bench or even during games.
I mean, first thing first, we're just gonna miss him. Just his, VC. Like I've said, for me, I had a privilege to play with a guy like VC and coming into my first season in the NBA and being a teammate of his. But just his presence will be missed. Obviously his voice will be missed, especially for me. I was kind of like a guy that, just like he did for me, he did with everybody else, took kind of his win and just kept telling me the right things, and just always trying to, keep my head up and just keeping me with a good spirits, and understands that the mistakes that it comes with a game. You know what I'm saying? The first year wasn't going to be perfect. And he's just a guy that made me understand where I'm at and continue to believe in the things I do and the things I work on. And one of the biggest things he told me was that trust yourself. You're here for a reason. For me, really, that meant a lot. And like I said, we're going to miss him. We're going to miss his voice. But at the same time, we know that he's around. He's always a text a call away. And it's just, I try to use that as much as I can, always texting him and check on him, even if it's nothing to do with basketball and stuff like that. So just keeping that relationship going and stuff like that. But we definitely going to miss VC. That is for sure.
Okay, next question from Sarah Spencer.
Hey, Bruno, what's up?
Hi, Sarah. How you doing?
I'm great. What are the biggest things what are the biggest ways you felt like your game improved from the beginning of the season as a rookie, kind of trying to figure things out toward the end of the season, even though I know it was cut short, but still.
Yeah, I feel like the beginning of the season, it was just, I was thrown into the party, and I had to be ready for it. And at times, it was, like I said, it was a lot of ups and downs, goods and bads. It was a learning experience for me. But towards the end of the season, I felt like I was kind of more catching a rhythm and flow with the teams, and just understand our strategy, the way we play, and our system as a team. So I felt like the game was slowing down for me, and I was being able to pick on where my teammates kept telling me, a guy like Trey and John and all these other guys. So it hurts that it was cut short, but at the same time, safety first, and we understand what we're dealing with. But like I said, the work doesn't stop. I came right when we got out of it. I just kept working on my game and trying to improve every aspect of my game, and hopefully, I see better results next season.
Do you feel like you started to settle in defensively a little bit? I mean, I know defense has to be a big focus for you guys next season if you want to achieve what you want to achieve.
Yeah, for sure. And I feel like, that was really, like, when I say understanding my role and things that I got to come into this team and help with right away. And I feel like defense was one of those things. And for me, being as vocal as I am, and just always, being that guy that just bringing the energy off the bench and communicating with other guys, it's kind of like it rubs off on everybody. So for me, that was one of the biggest things, defense, and just coming in and trying to make an impact on the end of the floor, and hopefully everything else flows on the other end of the floor. But that is for sure.
Thank you.
Chris Kirschner.
When you've gone back and watched the film of yourself and how you played last year, what's been your assessment on your weaknesses, your strengths, where you can get better in? What have you seen just from watching the film of yourself?
Yeah, I went back and watched every game we've played. We had a lot of time during quarantine. But for me, I felt like, obviously the game was faster and moving so much faster for me than where I was used to. And a lot of the times I was playing while thinking at the same time. I was just really not being decisive. I was always thinking too much on what should I do, what this, what that, and really not trying to make mistakes. And I think that was the biggest thing that really didn't allow me to be myself, because I was scared of making mistakes. That's natural. You know, it comes with the game, and obviously, you know, me being here and all this kind of stuff. But for me, as I look back and see all the things that I've done and learned from it, I just, like I said, I used the time that I had off to come out and continue to work and just try to improve myself in all these areas and aspects of my game, and just try to really just be a basketball player, you know, just let things flow to me instead of trying to think and overthinking too much. So I just really want to have a better flow with the game and the guys.
Okay. We'll go back to Sarah.
So we just talked to Kevin, and he kind of echoed what Lloyd has said, which is that the playoffs is a goal for this team next season. What have you had any conversations with, or have you guys had conversations as a team or individually about that goal and how you can achieve it?
I think, you know, since last season we kind of spoke on it a lot, and it was always, obviously, you know, as players we all want to do that. It's a goal for all of us, and it hurts for us to be home and watch other teams playing out there in a bubble. But at the same time, we understand the amount of work that has to be put into it in order for us to achieve that. I think we're all on the same page as far as, you know, just committing to the grind and just caring enough about it to really being able to take that next step. And I feel like as far as us, you know, as far as we all do that and just stay all on the same page, we're going to be able to do that. But we're a long way from it. We got a lot of work to continue to do, and we're just going to keep taking one day at a time. Just win the day every day and try to see what comes next.
Okay,